puppies. Totally irresistible. But if you're thinking of buying one, you really need to engage your head as well as your heart. If you jump in without doing your research, you could end up with a dog that just doesn't suit your lifestyle. That's why so many dogs end up in rescue centres being rehomed. Pip and Steve live in Sheffield. They're giving serious thought to buying their first pup. Don't want to make any mistakes.
I always had dogs when I was growing up, but my mum and dad looked after them. I've never looked after one by myself before.
Got something to drink? My parents weren't pet people. We had a rabbit that thought it was a dog. It used to dig in the garden, but my experience is nil.
Pip and Steve haven't been responsible for a dog before, so they're calling in a puppy buying expert to help them make the right choice. Bill Lambert is the manager of the Kennel Club's Assured Breeders scheme for breeders who've agreed to make the health and welfare of their pups a top priority. He knows all about the joys and potential pitfalls of buying a pup. To start with, he's less interested in what dog would be right for Pip and Steve, but whether they are right for a dog.
I work from 9 till 5 every day, all the weekdays. So I probably get home, I'd say about 6 o'clock if I'm not working late. But we started to look at it now because hopefully Steve will have a lot more time at home.
Steve, if you're at home and you're working from home, then that should work out quite well.
We like to keep the house quite tidy. So I think something I was considering as well was dogs that molt a lot, and looking at specific breeds that perhaps don't lose their hair all over the house and then it gets everywhere else.
But of course the other thing is exercise. And don't necessarily think that if it's big it needs more exercise and if it's small it needs less. It does depend on the temperament of the dog and its lifestyle. So you need to pick a dog that's going to fit into your lifestyle.
Bill's pleased they're prepared to spend time training a puppy and are considering signing up to one of the 2,000 classes in the Kennel Club's Good Citizen training scheme. But have they really thought about the cost of owning a dog? Food bills, essential accessories, vets fees, insurance costs.
There have been some studies that show that the cost of an average dog throughout its lifetime is around £15,000. So it is something to consider. Now I would suggest it's money well spent, but you should actually go into that with your eyes open.
But which type of dog will suit them best? Bill's invited 3 contrasting canines along to show the choice is enormous. This is Emmy, a St Bernard, Britain's biggest dog breed. At the other end of the scale, Danny, a long-haired Chihuahua, the smallest breed. And representing the middle ground, Rossi, a Labrador Retriever. Labradors are Britain's most popular breed. Steve's daughter Ella is 11 and stays most weekends, so any dog they choose needs to be good with children too. First up, Danny.
Now, the first obvious thing is that Chihuahuas are small, but they are actually a big dog in a small package. They're all dog. They are a toy dog, but they're not a toy. They're a real dog. And one of the things that we try and emphasise is that they're not necessarily the ideal dog for children. Children tend to want to pick them up, and they may not, although Danny's quite happy here being held. They don't necessarily like being mauled. Chihuahuas don't eat a fantastic amount. They're a small dog, so in terms of economy, they're not necessarily going to eat you out of house and home. So, Karen, thank you very much for that. Now we're going to go from the smallest to the largest breed of dog. You can clearly see a St Bernard is a much bigger dog than a Chihuahua. But in actual fact, in terms of its temperament, it's probably a bit quieter and calmer. They are actually fantastic dogs with children because they are pretty reliable, pretty steady dogs. And you can see Emmy here is sitting quite quietly. One thing I must say about St Bernards is you will find that they do slobber quite a lot. They have these heavy jowls, so they have a certain amount of drool that will get on your clothes. Also, they do require a certain degree of grooming. So certainly a couple of times a week, you are going to need to bring her out and give her a really good brush through it. Obviously, big dogs eat more. So Emmy here is probably going to cost you something between £5 and £10 a week to feed. Emmy probably only needs about an hour or so exercise a day. So that's a St Bernard. Thank you very much for bringing Emmy along, Kate. Now we're going to actually move to somewhere between the two, the most popular dog, which is the Labrador Retriever. Good boy. They are a very gregarious dog. They're very good with people. They love people. They like other dogs, providing they're socialised and well mixed from a very early age. They are a dog that will actually live quite happily with other dogs and other animals. And they're a very active, boisterous dog. They are very bright, but you do need to channel that intelligence into doing some activity. So certainly a Labrador is not a dog that you'd want to leave for long periods of time. They are a dog that needs a certain amount of exercise and activity to keep it stimulated. But of course, that's only 3 of the 211 breeds that you can actually choose from.
I was actually really surprised about the larger dog. I thought that I would have my reservations, but it appeared to be the friendliest, quite placid.
I like the Chihuahua best, but I don't know whether, with me being in the house, I don't know whether it would be the best dog for the environment.
I think I really like them all, but I'm surprised how much I like the bigger dogs as well. I have listened to what you've said about the costs and feeding them and things, but I'm glad they don't need as much exercise as I thought.
There's a massive choice there, and these choices aren't quite as easy as you might think at first.
So, Bill's checklist so far. Can you afford a dog? Have you time to exercise, groom and train it? Would it fit your lifestyle for up to 15 years? Pip and Steve think they can tick all the boxes. So, in the next video, Bill's introducing them to all 7 main dog groups so they can start to narrow down their choice.